Welcome back to Accountability Thursday, the day we cut through the noise, get honest about what's really holding us back, and talk about how to move forward. Hi, I'm Dr. Rose Petrilla, and today we're going to have one of those conversations. I'm warning you ahead of time that it might sting a little bit, but it could also change everything for you. Here's the truth. Most people who are stuck aren't failing, they're negotiating. They're doing some of the work, some of the time, and calling it good enough. But unfortunately, metabolic disease, inflammation, and insulin resistance, they don't respond to half measures. I see this all the time, and maybe you'll recognize yourself in this too. Someone tells me I'm drinking way less than I used to. Great, but they still have alcohol on most weekends, and their liver enzymes haven't budged. Another says, I've cut my carbs way down, but they're still eating 50, 60, and sometimes 70 grams a day and wondering why they're not in ketosis. Here's the hard truth. Less bad is not the same as good enough. I'm going to say it again. Less bad isn't the same as good enough. It's like trying to put out a house fire and saying, well, I'm pouring less gasoline on it than I did before. The flames don't care, the fire is still burning. So let's talk about the difference between half measures and real change. If you're trying to reverse fatty liver disease, metabolic syndrome, and decades of insulin resistance, you're not fighting a small battle. You're asking your body to rebuild itself and heal. That requires decisive action. And yet most people are stuck in the middle, doing just enough to feel like they're trying, but not enough to get results. I don't drink on weekends, still toxic to your liver. I stay under 50 grams of carbs, still too high to reverse insulin resistance. I walk a few times a week, still not enough for metabolic stress to spark change. It's not that you're not trying. It's that you're still negotiating with the very habits that caused the problems in the first place. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about shame or guilt. Please believe me when I say that. We do this because change is uncomfortable. It forces us to let go of coping mechanisms we've relied on for years. The glass of wine to unwind, the healthy snack to feel normal, the carb crutch that we tell ourselves we need. But here's the thing. If the behavior that created the problem is still part of your daily life, even in a smaller dose, you're not solving it. You're maintaining it. If you've been stuck for months, same weight, same labs, same symptoms, it's time to stop asking, what else can I do? And start asking, what am I still refusing to change? That question is very powerful. It cuts through the excuse and reveals the one habit, the one behavior, and the one boundary you haven't fully committed to. And when you tackle that, that's when the needle finally moves. So here's my challenge to you this week. Get brutally honest with yourself. Write down the one thing you're still holding on to, the habit you're still negotiating with, and ask yourself, is it worth it more than your health, your energy, and your future? And we all know what the answer is to that. It's no. Then, and this part is key, commit to one decisive action. Maybe it's cutting the weekend alcohol. Maybe it's finally dropping your carbs below 30 grams. Maybe it's walking every day instead of just when it's convenient. But make that decision and follow through. Because change doesn't happen when you try harder. It happens when you stop negotiating and you start acting. I'll see you tomorrow in the next Daily Spoonful.